All the flaws that I may think he had as a leader, he doesn't have that flaw as a person. He wanted this job done.
Absolutely. It's never been political or personal for him. He's only wished President Obama the very best, even through the transition. It was very diplomatic, and as you know, he's kept himself off the radar screen because he wanted to allow President Obama the room to govern without President Bush being inside of his business criticizing what he's doing. And I assure you this morning that nobody feels as good about this as President Bush does. I mean, this is a real no labels kind of moment. This is not about politics. It's not about partisanship. It's not about who won or lost. It's about a collective achievement that was started by President Bush and finished by President Obama, and for that we can all cheer.
Well, you know, Mike Barnacle, for years conservatives have liked to say that Ronald Reagan won the Cold War. It was a Cold War begun by Harry S. Truman, and it was a Cold War concluded by George H.W. Bush. Nobody won the Cold War. You look back over the sweep of the 50 or so years, and it was just a collective, a collection of decisions, wise decisions made by wise men from the Truman administration to the Bush administration that ended the Cold War. And here, you know, I think Republicans should stand up and certainly salute Barack Obama for making some very tough choices that his own base did not want him to make. That takes courage, that takes leadership, and we saw the results of that courage and leadership saying no to his own base yesterday.
Well, and the president's phrase, "at my direction." That's how this operation was conducted successfully, at my direction, in the words of President Obama. It was his decision. Last night, early this morning in Times Square, 2 o'clock in the morning, there were no conservatives. Right. There were no liberals. There were what was on every street in every town and city in America on September 12th, 2001. There were Americans infused with the spirit of this country that I think has been missing or diminished over the past 9 or 10 years. And to Mark's point, this is one of the healthiest things that has happened to this country.
All right, we have Mike Allen and Tom Brokaw coming up in just a moment. Richard Haas, real quick.
Timing could not have been better, though, for Barack Obama. He's been criticized over Libya. The phrase has begun to take hold, leading from behind. This is a situation where essentially he can claim he led from ahead. It's a very good development for him and for this country's foreign policy.
With us now, Chief White House Correspondent for Politico, Mike Allen. Politico has an exclusive look this morning at a heart-pounding moment in the Situation Room during the raid on Bin Laden's compound. Mike, what happened?
Yeah, well, Mika, officials tell us that they'd actually done 2 rehearsals for this raid in April, able to monitor exactly what was happening back here in Washington in the Situation Room. The raid went back 4 years ago that they first identified this courier. 2 years ago, they learned his name, followed him back to this compound where they realized that it was so suspicious. You were talking about how big it is. Also, the fact that the people inside burned their trash. The fact that there was no cable or internet service going into it. So the president finally decided to do this raid. Originally, the first option that he was presented was a bombing. The president decided not to do a bombing. He wanted proof that Osama Bin Laden had been taken out. He didn't want 20 civilian casualties, which they were able to avoid. So after they drew up the plan for this helicopter raid, which was much riskier, much more daring, they roped in, and it was about 3:30 p.m. Eastern time yesterday when this happened. It had been pushed off one day because of weather. Originally, it was going to be Saturday night. 3:30 p.m. our time, they rope in. The helicopter malfunctions. They set it down in the compound. Back in Washington, people are thinking Black Hawk Down, very worried about what was happening both to our guys and to what was going to happen to this mission. They went ahead with the raid, not knowing if they were going to have a ride out of there. While they were doing it, including the firefight with Osama, who fired back, including ransacking the place for every scrap of possible intelligence. We could also assume that they took any computer hard drives, anything like that was there. They got all of it. Very valuable intelligence. While they were doing that, the replacement chopper came, and they were able to leave with Osama Bin Laden now buried at sea. The administration didn't want any possibility that there would be some sort of shrine to to terrorism.